Sweet spicy spindler! I have an Apple Lisa, and today we're going to bring this incredibly important piece of computing history back from the brink of death. So stay tuned. And if you think that one person's e-waste is another person's raison d'etre, I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. The 1983 Apple Lisa is a pivotal computer, both in Apple's history and the history of computing in general. It pioneered for Apple many of the things that would appear in the Macintosh shortly after. And I can't wait to show you the Lisa OS. There weren't many graphical operating systems before it, so some of it is pretty weird by today's standards. But in order to do that, we first need to bring this one back from the brink of death. The power supply grenaded in a voluminous amount of smoke. Fortunately, I think that's just the Rifa caps, which tend to go bad over time, and I've ordered some new components to hopefully bring it back. So let's take a quick look around this thing and then we'll pull out the power supply. Right after this quick word about today's sponsor, Delete Me. Okay, story time. When I was a wee young naive retro, I shared my full name and childhood home address on a vintage computing forum. And then search engines picked up this forum post, and then the data brokers found it. And for years, long after I moved out of that house, that childhood home address haunted me online. This is exactly the kind of thing that today's sponsor Delete Me can help to address. Delete Me not only found this stuff floating out there, but they showed me a ton of brokers and websites who have it, and helped me delete it. I wonder if that's where they got the name Delete Me from. But seriously, it's harder than ever to keep your private info private. And with all the dangers lurking out there online, like phishing scams, identity theft, it's more important than ever to protect your private information. And after using Delete Me, I can definitely recommend it. Get 20% off your Delete Me US consumer plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/actionretro and use promo code actionretro at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/actionretro, code actionretro. So this is my Apple Lisa 210. It has a glorious 12-inch monochrome CRT, a 400K Sony 3.5-inch floppy drive, replacing the original Lisa's dual Twiggy floppy drives. The keyboard on this thing is absolutely glorious, and I love this. The keyboard connector looks like an audio connector. I could plug this into a guitar amp, and in fact, I just might. We have the same mouse that the Apple Macintosh used, and inside this incredibly modular machine, we have our widget hard drive. Again, being an incredibly modular machine, the whole thing just slides right out. Man, that hard drive is an absolute beast. And that's also one of the ways we know this is a Lisa 210. The less expensive 2.5 did not come with a hard drive. Around the back here we have power, of course, and we also have an interrupt button, 2 DB25 serial ports, the mouse port, video out, and a reset button. And our Lisa also comes with an expansion card, which I think is for a printer. We have brightness and sharpness control, and being a lovely modular design, the back comes off extremely easily, and look at that. No corrosion in here, no leaky batteries, and removing the power supply is as easy as unscrewing this finger screw here and just pulling it right out. Look at that. The power supply just uses this edge connector here, which slots right in all the way back here behind the dust bunnies. And if you thought the fun stops there, this Lisa comes apart even more. Check this out. The top slides right off with not even a single screw. And in fact, the entire guts of the machine slides right on out. Look at that. Which has actually revealed a slight problem. That's not going to make a good connection. I think the plastic on this connector has broken. Maybe we can 3D print something to hold that in place. But here is our problematic power supply, which is going to require a little bit of disassembly to get into. Ah yeah, there's our smoky culprit right there. And several other Rifas, which do not look exploded, but we will replace anyway. Still has that nice smoky Rifa smell. Okay, so the power supply that we hopefully just repaired, well, I'm pretty sure that's not actually the right power supply for this Lisa 210. I think that's the power supply for the 2.5. And because of that, I am going to just take out the hard drive entirely. And for testing purposes, we'll just try it out with the empty chassis here. And another interesting thing about the Apple Lisa, it will refuse to turn on if the case is off. And it does that via a couple different micro switches that try to detect if the case is pushing them in. And side note, if you have a Lisa that won't turn on, it may just be that the plastic that's supposed to push in one of these micro switches has broken. So for us to test it with the case off, I'm just gonna shove a little piece of paper in there. There's another one on the back here I have to do. Oh, it's singing! It's singing beep boop songs. Alright, well, I'm just gonna try reseating everything, including the main system boards, which come up with these nice little flippy things. Yeah, look at that. There is our CPU, this lovely ceramic 68,000 Motorola. Yeah, these little latches on here are quite cool. Look at these. Flip up and pull up. Yeah, the Lisa motherboard is hardly a motherboard at all. It's really just a backplane. I'll spray some deoxit in these connectors here. The computer version of Mechanic in a Can. Still nothing on the screen. All right, after 3 beeps, I'm gonna press interrupt. Ooh, different beeps. I've now turned it on with the widget hard drive connected both to the motherboard and to power. No display, but it hasn't beeped yet. Maybe the 3 beeps were I don't have anything to boot from, and the display issue is separate. Yeah, actually the CPU is warm. So I think this computer is computing. It's just the display. All right, as a test, let's hook this thing up to external composite and see if we can get video on an external monitor. Maybe. All right, I have an Apple IIc monitor. All of my kill switches are jumpered with bits of paper. Here goes nothing. Oh, look! It's trying to tell us something. Let me find another monitor. All right, I've got my trusty Gorilla high-resolution monitor. Keyboard and mouse are connected. I have our totally appropriate Gateway 2000 mousepad. Let's see if we can see what this Lisa is trying to tell us. Oh, maybe the garbled display is an issue with the machine itself. All right, I have reseated the power supply. I found a different monitor. Let's give this a try. Same nonsense. Oh, the Lisa CRT is coming to life. Oh. Yeah, there are some adjustment knobs up here, which sort of dial in. Ooh. The video board is the culprit up here. All right. Look at that. There must be a cold solder joint on this video board. All right, well, I see a few questionable ones on here. This one is a little bit brown, so perhaps it got hot. All right, I've added solder and reflowed a ton of connections on that video board. All right, let's power this on. Oh, we're getting picture. Oh, look at this. Come on, come on. There we go. Oh my goodness, look at this. We have a solid picture. There are V-hold controls back here, which I use to dial this in. I think I can sharpen this picture on the back of the machine. I wonder if a recap of that video board would cut down on all the whine. All right, I think that's as good as we're going to get it, which I have to say is pretty darn good. I see a little bit of ghosting, and it's not perfectly sharp, but it's not bad. And more importantly, it's frickin' alive. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. All right, let's try to boot this off of the hard drive just for fun. I mean, we've come this far. All right, here goes. Hard drive is spinning up, I think. All right, memory testing, CPU test passed. All right, we have error 82, whatever that means. It doesn't want to start up from here. All right, does not want to start up from the hard drive. That's okay. All right, I have a floppy EMU. I have an installed disk for Lisa OS 2, the image on an SD card here. I'm going to hook this up to the male floppy cable, and we'll see if the floppy EMU can boot the Lisa. Holy smokes! We have revived this Apple Lisa! I still cannot believe that I have this computer, let alone a working example of it, but I really have to thank Jonathan for trading me for this thing, and my friend Mark from Mac Effects for helping me get this safely from Chicago all the way over here to Pennsylvania. But there is a lot more that I want to do with this thing. It would be pretty cool to get it booting from the original widget hard drive, but that seems unlikely. So we might go with an option like the Arduino file, and of course we're going to give this thing the full Action Retro treatment with all the weird upgrades and accelerators that I can find, such as this one, and most importantly, this one. So if you want to see just how weird an Apple Lisa can get, make sure you subscribe to the channel. In any event, if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up, and thank you very much for watching. And I just want to give a very special thank you to all of my Patreon supporters and channel members. Thank you so much, each and every one of you, for supporting me and supporting this channel and all the weird stuff I do. I am so very grateful, and I just could not do this without you.